All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Stepping Stone. Today, I am here in rural China. I'm with my girlfriend and we're visiting her family's hometown, her family's home village. There's corn everywhere. And I guess I've been feeling some heaviness and I want to talk about it. I guess in a way, I want to talk about my struggles with living a life with few struggles. In my last video, I talked about doing nothing and my lifestyle in which I basically prioritize joy and wellness and healthiness and fulfillment, even though I make no money off of this. And most of the time, that feels really good. It feels really right. It's very rewarding. But then there are times like now where I struggle with these choices of mine. So for some context, it is currently Golden Week in China, which is like this 1 week of like vacation. Most people tend to go home for the holidays. It's a really big time of the year. I think it's kind of played into some of my struggles. I've been feeling a lot of like shame and a lot of guilt, just feeling like that internal conditioning, that internal criticism and judgment, feeling like unworthy of hospitality and of receiving and of being given things. And also just like feeling kind of guilty, or it's almost like survivor's guilt. I guess, like, I'm from the United States, and one aspect is feeling a lot of heaviness about everything going on back there, and just feeling like I want to do more. I want to do my part, but also feeling kind of powerless. And part of why I left the US is because I felt and believed for a long time that shit like this was coming and things would only get worse, and I continue to be proven right, which like maybe for my ego is cool, but like it doesn't really bring me pleasure. And I think it's just really tough. I feel like even when I was back in the US, it was just very stressful. I was very unwell. It was very difficult for me to feel well with everything going on. And I really don't know like what the average state of mind is for the average American. Like, I'm sure at this point most people know that there's some crazy shit going on and that things are not normal. I think also from a lot of macro factors, a lot of people are feeling more stressed, more pressed, more squeezed as things keep getting more expensive. And so, part of why I came was because I could live for extremely cheaply here. I basically budget on like $5 a day, really. I don't really spend much money. My girlfriend's family is extremely hospitable, and I try to pitch in as much as I can and offer to pay for things, so most of the times they don't even let me. And I feel like from that there's feelings of shame and feelings of guilt, feeling like I'm a freeloader, feeling like people would judge me as a freeloader. And I guess also with everything going on back home, like I feel like I wish I could do more. And I think one of the biggest struggles for myself, most of my life I never really knew what boundaries were. I never really had the awareness of, okay, like how am I feeling? Am I doing okay? Am I well? What do I need to take care of myself? And so I guess, in this past year particularly has been there's been a lot of growth and really getting to know myself and knowing my needs and allowing myself to advocate for my needs and do what's best for myself, do what's necessary for me to be well. And most of the time I am very well. If you've seen my other videos, you can probably attest to that. I am typically extremely joyful. I get a lot of exercise in. I guess the one area I feel like I lack in is socializing, but I want to get more of that in, talk to more locals and stuff in my videos and just get out into the world more. But yeah, it does come with a lot of uncomfortable thoughts and feelings that pop up. And I feel like that's one of the biggest things I've been struggling lately, especially given the context of the time right now here in China. Like, a lot of people are coming home and a lot of people work extremely hard. They don't get paid as well as like in the US. Cheeky little geese. I don't think they like me. No, I'm kidding. But that's the thing, it's like, even with what I just said, like, I kind of noticed, like, my first assumption was taking it personally. Like, they don't like me as a person. And I feel like in the past few days, I've been kind of stuck in this rut where I have been, like, falling into these traps. I've been feeling overwhelmed. I've been falling into doom scrolling. And that's definitely part of it. I think our perceptions are reality. I'm really feeling a lot more motivated and like I'm just tired of social media for a large part. I feel like it is one of the worst things in modern society, and I feel like it's also just dangerous. Our perception is our reality, and there's the ability for our perception to be molded and shaped. And people make money off of our freaking anger and enragement, man. So, I want to like get out more and do videos like this where I'm just doing my own thing. And I feel like I'm feeling like shame or guilt about doing my own thing when there's so much suffering going on. And I don't know, it's definitely scary times in the world right now. And I think it's just one of my biggest struggles right now is balancing like being informed and trying to do my part with doing my own thing and trying to be well and healthy and sane. I feel like more and more people are crashing out. And I don't know, I think for those that are paying attention, it's definitely very stressful times. But I do think I overdo it. I do want to spend a lot less time on social media. But yeah, I guess that's like been one of the hardest things lately. Kind of like get this whiplash between like fearing like, oh, I'm uploading too often, to like, oh, like I should be uploading every day. And I have like ideas of things I want to do, things I want to film, but I feel like it's necessary to assess where we're at, acknowledge where we're at, acknowledge how we're feeling. And I think I still feel some uneasiness with just like doing a video like this where really it's purely for me. Like, it helps me a lot to just come out and process and talk about this. And intellectually I know that like is the right way to go about it. That is my compass. Like, I need to make videos for me first and foremost, and I'm sure others will resonate as they find me over time, as the right people find me. But yeah, it just feels a lot more hard to follow my own compass and stay grounded in myself when there's so much noise, so much chaos externally. And I feel like that's something everyone can relate to. We're all human at the end of the day, and I don't know, I guess I'm just one human being. We're all just one person. We can't change the world on our own, but we sure can do a lot. There's this quote I really like. I think it's like, supposedly it's like someone who was like protesting outside the US like White House, and someone's like, bro, like, you really think you're gonna change the world like this? And he says, I'm not trying to change the world. I'm making sure the world doesn't change me. Something like that. And I really resonate with that. And I guess maybe that's where I want to shift my focus. Just making sure that I stay true to myself, making sure that I stay well. I do what I can to be the change I want to see in the world. Without crashing out, without... Oh, man. But yeah, man, I mean, like, when I really think about it, like, my life is very blessed, 100%. And I really love the life I lead, besides when I feel all these emotions and all this, like, internalized conditionings and criticism and maybe external judgments or criticisms. But it makes sense to me, right? Like, what is more important than our own wellness, than our own fulfillment, than our own joy? Like, what's the point in being alive if we're not well and we're not joyful and we're not doing something we believe in? Or at least, you know, working on that. Like, it's not really about the destination, it's just the path we're on. And I guess I feel a lot of sadness and heaviness because there's so many people, and I encounter them constantly, so many people who don't have the privilege to live a life like I do. And you know, I guess, like, it's not like my fault. It's not like I it's not like I damned anyone into their existence or their circumstances. You know, we're all born into the circumstances we are, and I'm certainly very blessed to have been born in the US. But yeah, it's not always intellectual. Actually, I think it's rarely intellectual. I think where most of us struggle is the emotional aspect, acknowledging and being aware of how we feel and the conditionings, the constant thoughts and feelings that pop up a lot of times without us even realizing it. And, you know, thoughts and feelings become actions, become habits, become behaviors, become beliefs. And I think that's the beauty of awareness. You can kind of start to control and mold it in a way you actually believe in. And that's really just all I'm trying to do. But it comes if it's struggles. And so, yeah. I don't know. I think this helped. It definitely helped. I think more so I'm feeling some worry or stress about, like, no one's gonna watch this, like, no one's gonna relate, this is selfish, like, blah, blah, blah. But just gonna notice it, thoughts and feelings, it's okay. Deep breath, calm down the amygdala. And yeah, I guess I'll leave it there for now. Just wanted to yap about that, as I always want to and will. If I want to yap about it, I ought to be able to yap about it, even though it feels hard, even though I feel some resistance or shame or judgment in doing it. It's my channel. Ultimately, that's what this is all about. So okay, thank you for watching, if anyone watched. I think I'll end there. Another stepping stone down. Yeah, peace.